what is your typical process for how often you update your handbook? Like, is there a regular frequency with which you do it? Or is there a certain point when you know that it's time for you to update it? So basically, just if you could talk a little bit about, for your practice, when is that point when you're actually going to be reviewing the handbook again and possibly making updates?
I'll go first on this one because I think my practice is probably the least well developed as far as a policy for how often to update. Here I try to update policies as we go when we realize that this is not really going to work unless we either add some more definition or update it in some way. And then if there are substantial changes like that in a year, I will put out the whole new handbook and go over it at a staff meeting. But it's rather informal, and I am hoping to learn from Sami and Jim a little bit better way to do it, because it's easy that way to let it get away from you, and all of a sudden you realize you're giving a new employee a handbook with a date on it that's 3 years old, and you're pretty sure that things have changed in the last 3 years.
So we update ours at least annually, and then we add or change whenever something comes up to warrant it. We do get signatures of acknowledgement when it's revised annually, and then other small changes we just email out. But if it is a material change, you do have to get signatures.
And we update ours annually or biannually. We chose to do that in June or July because there's no budget crunch and there's no review crunch and there's no end of year crunch. So it's sort of a quote unquote downtime, if that really exists in our world. But once every 1 or 2 years. And as Sami, we also require a signature of the employee that they've read it. But I had a question for you ladies. When you redo it and you have published a new document, do you publish or send out by email or announce in a meeting, Barb, the summary of changes only, or do you make them read every word?
So we do a summary of what the changes are. Not every little, like a typo change or just anything that's material change.
And you provide that to the staff?
Yeah, we do a summary of it. I'll do, if there's any big rollout of a new policy, we'll do it at a town hall or a whole group meeting or department meetings, depends on who it affects. We even have some PowerPoints on like dress code do's and don'ts that we do, just because there's always questions on what's appropriate dress code. And that's gone over pretty well.
Thank you. And Barb?
We go over it. I go over it with the whole staff at an all-staff meeting before it's published, and I specifically state what has changed, what has been inserted, what has been taken out. But I don't like put out a red line version or anything, although during the process, the policy affects specific people in a specific department. I involve those people in developing the updated policy. So the ones that it affects directly the most they're probably already well aware of the best change. And then it goes out to the staff at a staff meeting. And then when the entire handbook is updated, everyone sees it.